Hi, I'm Christina Applegate.
And I'm Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
And this is
Messy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Messy. This is Jamie.
And Christina.
And we're just going to get right to it because, you know, it's always a favorite day for us when we have somebody from the Bravoverse. Because, right, Christina? I mean,
we're total Bravo nerds.
We are, proudly.
In fact, for the last 2 years, we've been wanting to do like a full Bravo Celebrities series. And I don't know why we haven't gotten everyone because I've slipped into so many people's DMs. Like, I'm the creepo who does that. So anyway.
Well, you do the Lord's work for both of us.
I do.
You're my boots on the ground. I really appreciate you.
I do. I've got them all in my back pocket. So we've got to get everybody on here. We actually had Jesse Solomon and What Would He Do on last year.
That's right. But today we are joined by Carl Radke.
Carl Radke. Oh,
That's
we didn't even say your name. It's freaking Carl Radke.
And for listeners that don't know who he is, you might know him from being on Summer House. He's also the author of Cake Eater, a wonderful, wonderful, vulnerable, honest memoir, which we're going to talk a lot about. He's the founder of Soft Bar and Cafe. He's a podcast host of More Life with Carl Radke. We love him. Welcome to Messy, Carl.
Thank you for having me on Messy. Happy Friday or whatever day it is.
That's right.
I literally just got Cake Eater just now.
Thank you.
Like,
well, congrats to you, Christina, on your bestseller list.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So
it's
incredible.
number one. It's not a list. It's number one. Just right.
No big deal. Number one on like every best-selling list that there has ever been made.
I wanted to say to you before we dive down in, is that I started to run out of my episodes of every single show that I watch on Bravo, which is every single show on Bravo. And I decided to go back and start from season 1 of Summer House because I love you guys so much. And watching now kind of where you end up, it's been a fascinating journey to watch. What?
It's been a long journey. I'm very lucky to be on Bravo for 10 years now. This is season 10. I kind of grew up on Bravo a little bit. I mean, as far as like I was pretty immature, trying to figure out who I was. When we first filmed season 1, I was 29. I'm 41 now.
Wow.
So I've grown a lot, but I think watching myself back, those early seasons was some of the best dose of reality I needed because I didn't really realize how hard I really I knew I partied hard, but when you see yourself behave in a way that you're not proud of and treat people that you like poorly, it's very sobering. So, you know, I've been very lucky to be in a position to still be a part of the show, and you know, it's been a long journey. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the gifts. I hope for people that are on reality shows for as long as you are, and then us for viewers as well, to just see growth and see the humanness of people and the messiness of life, because we all have struggles. And I think it's very brave of people like you to share your lives in such a way, because I think one of the reasons why people love it is, yes, it's entertaining, but you also are allowed to see people be human and be flawed, and we all are, and to see the growth, like I said, over these 9-10 years that you've been on television. It's like you feel proud. You're just so proud to see people's success and to watch them get married, divorced, have children, whatever it is. I think that I want to honor for you that that's very difficult, I'm sure, but also I hope that you do feel very proud of yourself today.
Yeah, no, I thank you, Jamie. It's very kind of you. No, I feel very lucky, and I'm very proud of. I mean, listen, if I didn't change after watching seasons 1 through 4, then I'm kind of like totally a sociopath and out of my mind. So I'm very blessed, and I've said this a few different times, but like the way like athletes will watch film of their games to learn what they did wrong or how they did, performed. I've kind of used our show in that way over the last a couple of years is just like, okay, like this is a way to learn and understand how I communicate, how I navigate conflict, how I navigate my social life and relationships and career. And it's actually been some of the best like kind of life stuff I've had to deal with. It's forced me to have tough conversations that had I not been on reality TV, I don't know if I would have had, and it's also, I think for the audience, they get to watch us navigate some of these life situations and hopefully navigate their own life situations in a little bit better way.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting to me, Carl, is that having watched the show, all the way through and then now all the way through again, you are like the least offensive to me,
I agree.
And
I feel like I was offensive early on, so I appreciate that.
No, but now you do. But now me going back, I can see the trouble that you're feeling and the struggles that you're going through, and to be in that situation, in that environment, as it must have been so difficult for you, man, because I didn't see it those first few years, and I've been around a lot of people going through what you were going through, and I didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of what was happening was outside of filming, truthfully. I had some instances with, like, the big part of our show is the green screen confessional, part of our show where we look right at the camera and I'm all dressed up and nice hair and makeup. That moment takes place outside of the Hamptons. That's in a studio here in New York. But that doesn't happen like on the weekend during filming. That happens after filming wraps. So I would actually show up to the studio at times drunk, coked up from the night before. So it was also impacting, like, not the principal filming, but some of the after parts of it where I was problematic, and bringing my issues into just stuff that, like, no one was really doing like that before. Yeah, we drink a little bit in the studio for those confessionals, but I was showing up from the night before, like on a bender, and I'd shower and shave and think I was totally fine. Like I'd present, or at least I thought, present myself like nothing had been going on. But there was a lot, I think, that took place outside of what may have been shown on the show that, but why I'm so lucky is like, these are my real friends, Kyle Cook and Amanda and Lindsay. Like I've known them for a long time.
I don't want to talk about that. That makes me sad. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it is sad. But the beautiful thing is we have a really strong bond. And when I told some of my closest friends I was getting help and needed to get sober, I mean, they were all like, thank God, right? Like, because I was a lot.
Did they try having talks with you? Did anyone from production, were there people that were making you aware, like, hey, we think this is maybe a problem?
Yes. Probably, I mean, for season 1, had some really bad moments that were off camera that kind of created some conversation around just my behavior. And then I was really good at apologizing and kind of taking ownership, but then getting right back in the same cycle. It'd be kind of season 1 and season 2, like anybody who's listening who's on that cast, it's called the Carl Apology Tour. And I do crazy shit the night before. The next day I'd feel so bad. I'd be like so anxious and depressed because of how I acted the night before. But I would go around and make sure I apologize and try to like clear the air, but then I'd do it all over again.
The cycle starts again. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky I had good friends that I think also saw what I needed to. And yes, to answer your question, I absolutely was sat down by production executives 2 different times in 2018 and 2019. And the suggestion was, you should go to rehab. You should take a look at your drinking and also drug use. But at that time, I was never comfortable publicly admitting that it wasn't just alcohol. It was cocaine and Adderall that I loved to drink. But when I drank, I had to do an upper or some sort of, cocaine or Adderall. That one of the producers actually was like, Carl, is it just your drinking though? And the way she said it to me in that meeting, it was like, she knows. And I didn't realize at that time, everybody knew, but I thought it was just like, I could blame the alcohol, because admitting cocaine publicly for whatever reason, to me personally, felt it's like another level. We've all heard of people getting DUIs and okay, it's a big deal, but weighed against like cocaine or heroin, it was something I'm like, I can't admit that publicly, because it's embarrassing.
You had shame about it.
Well, you're a degenerate. You're a piece of shit. You're just like all these things. But it was important for me to admit that because that was a bigger issue is the cocaine. I really struggled hardcore with, that substance while drinking. But addressing the drinking was what allowed me to kind of step back from all the substances, because when I drank, it was cocaine, it was Xanax, it was Ambien, painkillers, whatever I could get my hands on to like get off of the mountain, and then to get back up the mountain, do drinking and cocaine again.
I feel like, in reading a lot of the stuff about you that, you kind of had to be kind of taking care of yourself, taking care of your brother for so long that I think that's maybe why we didn't see the completely, falling apart of you, because you were like, I got to keep it together. I got to keep it together. And one question that we ask people on here is, who was like little Carl? Like if you could close your eyes right now and look down at your shoes, like at 8 to 10 years old, and think about, what did your shoes look like? What music were you listening to? What TV shows? What were you doing at the time? What was it like?
Yeah, great. I love this question. If I could just say, in the last like 2-3 years, I mean, I've been sober 5 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And in the last couple of years, like year or two, I've really started to unlock this childhood Carl. And childhood Carl was, I was happy. I had a big smile on my face. I was very friendly. I talked to everybody. I loved going outside and playing and running and being active. And I was always like, I didn't drink or do drugs at age 8, 9, 10. I was sober. And I just started to realize like who I was at that age. And I really tried to draw back to that childlike self, because I was confident. I was happy, and before I kind of learned more about life, it was just a free kid and like just in a great place. So at age 8 or 9 or 10, I was wearing Michael Jordan, Air Jordan sneakers. I used to love the Air Jordan number 7s. My mom actually famously told me, if you want the Jordans, you got to go make money to go buy the Jordans. Like she wasn't going to just buy me the Jordans, which was probably the best thing that a mom can do for her son. But she's like, shovel some driveways, cut some grass.
That's right.
Sell some lemonade in the front yard, whatever it takes. So she instilled in me kind of that work hard if you want something nice. So I love Jordans. I was probably listening to, my parents loved Bruce Springsteen.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of Bruce in the house. And then I remember doing car rides with my mom. There's a Meatloaf is a famous 80s singer that has like, ballads and big love songs. And he had
I'm older than you, Carl. So
so Meatloaf.
we got him. We got all those references.
We
some people don't know. Like I hear songs on the radio now that have a sample from like 2001, and people are like, "It's a new song." I'm like, "No, that's a sample from like not even that long ago."
Welcome to your 40s, Carl.
I know I'm getting old, but I think age 8, 9, 10, I was just a happy kid and just loved life. I was always notorious for, my mom would tell this story, but I was 5 years younger than my brother. And my brother was a great athlete and a great, sports player. So I was always like the little brother at all the games.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of watching my brother play, I would like find ways to make money at the baseball field or the football field. So, near a baseball field, there'd be like a foul ball that would go across the fence, like in the woods. No one would go get the ball. And I'd noticed this. They're like, why is no one getting the balls that go like deep into the woods or into the water? So I would collect all the balls and sell them back to the coaches as batting practice baseballs. And then I'd go up to other like people at the baseball game, and I'd just go, "Hi, how are you? Can I get $1?" And like smile really big, and I would get money from people.
You've always been an entrepreneur.
I was just going to say, this is your entrepreneurial.
Right.
Why can't I say entrepreneur?
Right.
Entrepreneur. You gotta. I struggle with it too.
I'm actually kind of smart. I just wrote a book too. So entrepreneurial.
Sorry. Speaking of books, and you're talking about, right? Like I understand the quest to sort of connect back to who you are at your root, right? Like a carefree, like looking at the world with excitement and hope. But I think also when we go back to our childhood, there's opportunities to see where real survival patterns happened and where we started telling ourselves stories about the world and about how the world viewed us and how we viewed it. And we can develop some unhealthy patterns. And you really get in a lot of depth at a young age about how you started to carry some shame and started to carry some deep awareness, but still were burying those, like because you seem like you still come from such a loving family, like in all the scenes that you've had with your mom and these beautiful open communication and talking, like I can understand. I was a child like that as well, of just sort of putting on this perfect facade and keeping all of the turmoil underneath. Did you even have did you even know that that's what you were doing? Or did writing the book and sort of revisiting your life, you were able to really understand and then uncover a lot of these, habits that you've had throughout your life?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really thoughtful question. I totally get what you're saying. I think as I've gotten sober and working, I've worked 12-step program, and I've gone to AA, I've had a sponsor, and I've gone to therapy. And a lot of therapy and some of my AA experiences have been talking about that childhood self and growing up kind of in an environment. My brother was an addict and alcoholic 5 years older, so I used to watch him shoot heroin. I used to watch him use, and I didn't really realize.
What age?
Like probably age 12, 13. And I didn't really fully understand at that point what heroin was, other than like a movie, or I didn't realize you shot it. I didn't fully get that. But some of the, just some of like my POV was definitely like, okay, I know I had this childhood experience, but I do need to revisit it. And I do need to open that up, because a lot of us do bury the childhood experiences, and that a lot of times can inform our adult self. Mm-hmm. And since I've really gotten sober and worked therapy and programs, I've been in other meetings where people talk about their childhood stuff. And that's also brought up, okay, I need to like look at that a little bit more. And a big part of my youth, I mean, due to our financial situation, we lost the house we grew up in Chicago. My father had lost his job and the house was foreclosed. But my dad didn't tell my mom. So like the bank called the house one day. I was like, yeah, you guys haven't made a mortgage payment in like 6 months. And the bank took the house and we moved into a kind of apartment complex. And from there, we moved back to Pittsburgh, which is where my dad had grown up and my grandparents had lived. So we lived with my grandparents for about a year and a half. But at that time is when I started to recognize, like, we're not like everybody else here. My grandparents were very heavily involved in my raising, which I know I actually don't regret any. I'm so glad. I love when grandparents are involved. But my grandfather was a U.S. Marine. Shout out to our veterans. But my grandfather he was an alpha former military Marine. Like, he was a tough, very scary, loving guy, but his relationship with alcohol was definitely unique. So I grew up around an environment of a lot of drinking, a lot of powerful alpha energy, and then kind of like being raised by a grandparent who was a Marine, but then also being raised by my parents who weren't Marines. So there was definitely like this rigid military kind of environment that I, from maybe age 4 to 5, started to kind of be put into. So that informed some of that, youth, where I was a people pleaser. I didn't want to cross my even as silly as like not getting ready for church and being 4 minutes late today, like I was, would have been horrible for my grandfather. He would have had my ass. And there's an element of that people pleasing part of me that is definitely derived from that period of time when I was maybe 5 or 6 living with my grandparents. And then the conflict that I had been around as a youth with my brother when he started to use and started to drink, there was a lot of fighting in the house and a lot of behavior that just was very difficult to manage. We had the police at the house. My brother had gotten arrested on a Saturday afternoon at our house in front of my friends. I had a little get together to watch football, maybe 4 of my closest guy friends. And during the party or the get together, I get a knock at the door and there was 5 police cars outside. And this is, I think, in the book a little bit, but it was really just like, now my friends really know. Now my friends are seeing this.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, police come in, they had a warrant to search the house. It's kind of like the movies. They literally flipped up like everything upside down. Like I was like, I can't believe they actually search a house like this. Wow. And my brother had been involved in like a gas station robbery or some sort of theft and got away, and they found where we were the next day. But what I'll never forget is my dad calling my friends' fathers and parents to come pick them up. And it was the most embarrassing feeling, hey, Susie Q, like you're like, Curtis got arrested, so can you come pick up XYZ? So there was a lot of just like trauma from seeing arrests and drug stuff and fighting and conflict. So I've also been sensitive to conflict and sensitive to behavioral outbursts, because my brother would punch holes in the wall. There would be fist fights and crazy behavior. But at that time, I didn't understand alcoholism. I didn't understand drug addiction. I just thought my brother was an asshole. And that was kind of the confusing part.
This episode of Messy is brought to you by Wild Grain. I tell everybody I know about Wild Grain because I love it so much. I have been a loyal Wild Grain user for probably 5 years now. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. Unlike many store-bought options, Wild Grain just uses simple ingredients you can pronounce and a slow fermentation process that can be easier on your belly and richer in nutrients and antioxidants. Plus, listen to me, all these items bake in 25 minutes or less with no thawing required. They have so many wonderful options. I fill my box with the croissants, some chocolate chip cookies, because who doesn't like a fresh, hot baked chocolate chip cookie? They have their olive oil ciabatta, which is also a favorite of mine, their pretzel breads, literally more items than you can imagine. Imagine having fresh bakery quality bread, pastries, and pasta at home without any trips to the store. And don't just take my word for it. They have over 40,000 five-star reviews and have been voted the best food subscription box by USA Today for 3 years in a row. For a limited time, Wild Grain is offering our listeners $30 off your first box, plus free croissants for life when you go to wildgrain.com/messy to start your subscription today. That's $30 off your first box and free croissants for life when you visit wildgrain.com/messy, or you can use promo code MESSY at checkout. Support for Messy comes from Fatty 15. I sometimes feel like I don't have the time, the energy, the money that we're feeling like we need to spend on our health, on our wellness, on the beauty products to combat aging. It feels like it can be an impossible thing to keep up with. Well, if you're feeling like me, I am so excited to share with you guys C15 from Fatty 15. This is the first emerging essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years. It is an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. And guess what? You guessed it, healthy aging. The Fatty 15 co-founder, Dr. Stephanie Van Watson, discovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy. Based on over 100 studies, we have found that when our cells don't have enough C15, they can become fragile and age faster. And when our cells age, our bodies age too. That means that as many as 1 in 3 people worldwide now have low C15 levels, which is called cellular fragility syndrome. But thanks to Fatty 15, we can repair these age-related damage to cells. We can protect them from breakdown, activate pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, our cognitive health, and metabolism. This functionality leads to so many exciting benefits as we get older. In fact, 70% of Fatty 15 customers report seeing benefits within 16 weeks. Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help support your long-term health and wellness, especially as you age. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/messy and using code MESSY at checkout.
I grew up in a home similar to that. And I know that like, there's a couple ways that you can go with that, right? You can either escape into something to get away from it, or you can find a way to find, I don't know, solace. I don't even know what I'm even talking about in that sense. But I mean, like, I know that like seeing that, you kind of want to emulate it because that's all you know, right?
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Why I had a tough decision because I wanted to be like my brother for a lot of my youth, because he was an amazing athlete. He was really well liked. He had a lot of energy. He was very hardworking kid. Like he really worked his ass off. But when things started to go a different direction, he wasn't my hero. He was like the anti-hero.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be nothing like my brother. So I made a very hardcore point. I'm going to do everything opposite of him. And, you know, from school, I was in student council. Like I did everything. I was like, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do these things just because I didn't want to be like him. But I also would bury a lot of those feelings about my brother and what was going on and just kind of hide behind wanting to get a 4.0 GPA, wanting to be on the varsity team, I just leaned in on every other element of high school and just my community, because I will say, like, my brother was written up in the news. So like I'd have families that would be like, you get this feeling. I'd walk into a room or even in a classroom and you'd be like, oh, that's Curtis's brother. Like that kind of thing. And that sucked and really hurt because I had a reputation even before I walked in the door because of my brother's, you know, polarizing behavior in our local community. So I definitely, to your point, Christina, like I was like, no, I'm going to go this way. I went total different direction. But what's interesting is while going that direction, I just pretended like none of this existed.
Because in your book, I mean, you talk, it's not like reality television amplified this. If anything, right, you were able to sort of look back and really, like, if we all could see ourselves, right, filmed and like actually watch our behavior and how we're acting, you know, not everybody will take the opportunity and has the self-awareness or wants to be like, let me just check myself here. But you did. But did you do that prior to the decision of getting sober? Or do you think that, was it the feedback you were getting about yourself on the show that made you like feel like I need to take a look at this behavior? What was it that made you want to look into that? Because you seem to be somebody, it sounds to me also like your apologies is because of how much shame you've carried throughout your life as well. Yeah. Like even though you didn't want to be like your brother and have that, like, I can feel for you of just you still feeling so responsible and like so much of like just being so incredibly hard on yourself.
I am just generally hard on myself. I would say like, it was a combination of a few things. Like around 2019, I had, you know, friends that were concerned. I had some people that would express like, hey man, like you FaceTime me at 4 a.m. every weekend for the last 3 years. And I know why you're doing it. It's because you're drunk and you're on drugs and want to just talk to someone. I also would watch the show as a fan. Like I love Summer House just as much as you guys probably do. And I would watch and be like, I fucking hate that person, me. Like I hated myself. And I'll never forget season 4. I had a really rough summer. I behaved really, really poorly towards a cast member, Jules, in this particular party. It's something that I still get messages about because of how I treated her. And I made amends. I've apologized many times to her. We're still friendly. You know, we were cool like a weekend later, but that moment on TV has really rang true. But I'll say it was a combination of that. And then I knew I had a problem. I knew I drank differently and I knew I did a lot of cocaine. But I thought, I'm not an alcoholic. Maybe I'll just focus on drinking one particular drink. It's wine, or maybe I'll drink beer. So starting in 2020, I was like, I'm going to get some support on being, you know, moderation. I'm going to try and watch my drinking, just more about controlling the drinking. And I went into season 5 of Summer House, you know, not drinking, feeling pretty good about that choice. But I was still thinking I could drink, but maybe just a little differently. But I got a call in August, you know, my brother had overdosed and passed away.
I'm
That
so
is the
sorry about
reason.
that, Carl.
That is the
Jesus.
reason I got sober. Was that was to me the biggest kick in the balls ever, and a tragic thing for our family. But here I was, not sober, grieving the loss of my brother. So after he passed away that August, I drank. I used it as a license to go and do what I was doing before. So I lived in Soho in New York at the time, and after we wrapped filming and after my brother's funeral, I went right back into my Soho apartment that I used to party really hard in. And this time it was different. I would isolate and not go out. I would drink and do cocaine by myself. And just sit in my apartment and just cry, call people, because I couldn't deal with the loss of my brother. I was so sad. I was so depressed. And then I'll never forget, there was in London, it's called the Sun, which is like their version of Us Weekly or People Magazine. And I'd gotten a news alert, and it was a Sun article. It was like, fans praise Carl Radke for how he's handling the passing of his brother. I'm reading this article and like cocaine's dripping out of my nose. Wow. And I'm just like, I'm being praised for this. And I'm like, I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. And I just couldn't deal with also the notion that what I had found out in August was now going to be an episode of television. So my brother passing is on season 5. Like, I got the phone call in the house, and I couldn't wrap my head around, this is going to be a TV episode. How? It just really messed me up. And I ultimately hit rock bottom in early January of 2021, where I was essentially this is how I felt at the time. I was trying to drink or like do so much drugs to kill myself, essentially. Like, and I'm not trying to make light of suicide but when you're that sad about someone passing away and you're drinking, which is a depressant, and you're using cocaine and you're not sleeping, I was in a really fragile mental state. Like, I was in a really bad, dark place. And I hit what I describe as my rock bottom on January 6th, January 7th. But the last day, I woke up from that, and I had, fortunately, some friends that I had known who were working a program. And one of my friends, I called him. I said, I need help. Like, I need to go to AA. And he's like, call this guy. And this guy was a sponsor in New York. And I'm not giving away his information, but he worked at Goldman Sachs, super successful guy. I call him, and it was the opposite of what I thought. I thought I was going to get like a big hug through the phone. And it was like a tough alpha finance guy being like very like direct and like, I'm not going to call you. You call me. I'll answer from 7 p.m. to 8. I'll give you my hour. We're going to read the book. We're going to go through this. And it was like what I needed at that time. But it was obviously a very dark period, but not everybody hits rock bottom, and I don't wish that on anybody. But what I would say I had happen over the first 6 months of going to AA was what they would describe as like a spiritual awakening, where I realized that it's okay that I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. It's actually the best thing that I've ever discovered about myself. And now I've got all these other amazing people that I actually relate to and really am inspired and want what they have. And that gave me this whole new trajectory of realizing that I'm okay. Like, I'm actually stronger than ever because I'm admitting these issues and I'm asking for help. But I would say those were probably the 2019 period of time, but then 2020 and 2021 were like kind of a series of events that really were like, you got to get sober. And my choice to get sober was really to stay alive, because I was in such a fragile state that I, honest to God, think the last time I drank and did coke, like, I felt like I was going to die. Like, that my heart was racing out of my chest. I hadn't slept for a few days. I was drinking red wine I was just a mess, an absolute mess. But I had some close friends also after that point, Kyle Cook, who came over to my apartment, and he was afraid to come over because he didn't know he was going to walk into. And he came over, and I thought he was just coming over to catch up because I was still trying to be like a little coy, and he knew I was in a bad place. But he came over. I like tell him we're going to watch a game, which it's not something we really would do together. Him and I were more, we'd have a good time and party or talk business. But I'm sitting on my couch and he's sitting on my couch, and he's like, all right, listen. And he just jumped into like, I'm really nervous and scared for you. And he's like, if you keep doing coke like you're doing, you're going to die. He's like, it's the coke is a problem. You need to admit that. And like his kind of tough love, because he knew. And that was the tough love I kind of needed at that time, was someone who really did care for me. But I've always viewed Kyle as kind of, obviously my brother is my brother, but Kyle is like a brother. We've obviously had fights like brothers, but he's been, I get chills talking about this feeling just because Kyle's been just such an amazing person for me. He's looked out for me. He's given me so many opportunities professionally. He's put up with a lot of my BS because we worked together at Loverboy, and some of my alcohol issues and drug issues had spilled into the workplace. And as a friend and a business owner, I put him in some very difficult positions that I still am ashamed and have apologized and tried to make amends to him, because anybody who's got someone they care about who struggles, it's confusing, it's hard, and it takes a lot of just grace and patience. And he's exhibited a lot of that, which a lot of people would have just said, no, fuck you, I'm done with you kind of thing. So I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of people support me.
I also want to say, like, you did this too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In the sense of like, I've known, Carl, I've known so many addicts in my life. And, there's the two choices. Either you get sober or you die. And you got sober, and that's some serious like dedication and bravery and a will and a care for yourself and actually a self-love, if you can really kind of get into that, is like, it's really admirable. And I hope people really listen to this, because it's okay to it's okay to take that and go away and not, you're always going to have the little bits of shame. But what you did was, it's not very often that people make it through, Carl.
Yeah. So, well, and that's why I don't take like the position I'm in lightly. And I feel a sense of obligation to help other people. And that is a part of kind of the program, is service and giving back and showing up for others. But what I'll say, like what was a big pivotal point for me was at my brother's funeral. I gave a eulogy. I went to the bar next door. I was drinking during the breaks. But I came back from the bar, maybe it was because I was a little on one, but I looked at my niece, who's my brother's oldest daughter. And I look at her and I see me, I see my brother, I see our family in her. And she's a beautiful, sweet, at the time, 14-year-old girl, smart, just so much talent and all these great things. And I'm like, I see her and I'm like, this is why you get sober. Is like your legacy and your family, and like your, like, what do you leave behind? Like, what do you stand for as a man? Like, who are you? And that was like, honestly, what I needed to see was like my beautiful niece. And like, it reminded me, I want to have a family, but the only way I can have a family is if I've got my head on straight and I get the support and help I need. And it was kind of that kind of wake up call, even after my brother had passed, that I was like, holy shit, my brother left behind 3 children. And, it's sad as hell, but he still is carrying on his family because he's got beautiful children that are still here, and we are loving and trying to support. So in a weird way, my brother's still here more than ever, so I try to kind of hold on to some of that.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what Christina was saying too, of like, you're such a role model for so many different reasons, but like one of the things that you were able to do that I think is one of the hardest things is forgive yourself, right? And
I think I'm still working on that, to be completely honest.
But it's always a work in progress, of course. But even to open that door, I mean, I think once you do, it's almost like the energy that you allow for you to receive the help and the love and believe that you're worth it, and because I'm sure every day you have to wake up with that choice. And the choice to stay sober is a choice of like, no, I am worth more than that type of life. And that's very, very admirable. And, there's times as somebody who's like an avid reality show watcher, and like, I love every minute of it. I've loved it forever. But there's moments that you watch that almost feel so intimate. Like you feel lucky that you're getting to watch it, but you're almost like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't be. And that there's like, and then there could be a narrative, right, that can run away, that I just want to know, like, for you as somebody that's been on reality TV for so long, like what do you do with those moments? Like, how do you handle yourself? Do you immediately want to address them? Have you learned through process that things just like come and go and that you just kind of know who you are? Because I'm somebody that like always thinks everybody's mad at me, like always people pleaser as well. And so to do it on that type of scale, I can't imagine what that's like to deal with.
Another thing that I was watching was people kind of being disappointed that you weren't drunk anymore.
Oh, wow.
Like, aw.
Yeah.
Carl's not drunk anymore. And we can't do the house the way we did it with him. And that really, really bums me out. But that happens. People mourn your partying ways, which is
they get attached to a version. Yeah.
Well, they call it old Carl, OC.
Old, yeah. Okay.
Old Carl.
Old Carl. We like new Carl.
Yeah, I like
them both, but
we like new Carl.
We celebrate new Carl.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still learning 10 years later how to kind of navigate some of these moments. I mean, I would say when I first got sober, like that season 6, season 7, I was like high and mighty, meaning I thought I was better than everybody. Because I'm like, oh, look at them. They're fighting. And I'm in my head like, well, they've been drinking all day. That's why they're fighting. Or had all these little things that it was a really not a great place to operate from. I'm no better or no worse than anybody. And I had to kind of humble myself and take a step back, because just because you got sober doesn't mean you have it all figured out. Doesn't mean, I've joked around, just because you're sober doesn't mean you're still not an asshole. Like I have my moments, and Jamie, to your point of feeling I'm an overthinker, I will always kind of dig my own grave in my head. I've had this saying, like, I've always wait for the other shoe to drop, because a lot of my life, there's always been like something happens. And, so I'm kind of always trying to work through those feelings of, something bad's going to happen, something's going to fall through. But I try to turn a lot of that over to my higher power. And you got to lean on faith, at least for my personal experience, turning things over to God and just letting the universe operate and trusting that the universe has my back. And
that's right. And everything's temporary.
Well, and I was going to say, Jamie, like my favorite is "this too shall pass." And it sucks when someone says that to you while you're going through it. I'm like, fuck you. It doesn't work. Yeah. But it actually does. And I try to operate from one day at a time, or 1 minute, 1 hour at a time. Some of these little tools have really helped kind of loosen up some of that noise in my head. But yeah, like I've had a lot of conversations on reality TV that I've watched back and been like, you didn't say what you really wanted to say. Why? And I've held back sometimes because, and I think you'll see on this new season, I struggle with Kyle and I'm trying to be supportive to him. I have some opinions that I want to express to him, but I struggle to give it to him without feeling like I'm going to hurt him.
Well, is it feeling like you're going to hurt him because you'll say it, or because you're going to say it on camera?
Both. Mm-hmm. Both. And I think we all respect and love each other so much that I would never want to put my best friend in a really weird position publicly because of some opinions I have. And it's also important to share those opinions privately too. Because there's nothing worse than being on this show and then you're like at a dinner that's being filmed and they're saying something. You're like, why didn't you tell me this yesterday when we were driving to the Hamptons with no cameras? Right. But, we all, I think, have operated from, we are part of this ensemble. We're a team. That we're only as good as our worst cast member. So the more we can operate from some grace and understanding that we're in kind of this world, it's hard. So I've tried to allow that. Kyle also has been like, dude, just tell me what you're thinking. It's better for you to tell me versus like tiptoeing around it and then I find out later. So it's been good crash course. And even as a sober person, navigating conflict, navigating relationships, navigating my career. And, people ask me all the time, how do you do Summer House without drinking? And I say, and it's very profound, I think, is I wouldn't do Summer House if I was drinking, because I would not I wouldn't be there. There was plenty of moments in seasons 1 through 4. They show it a little bit. I come home at 6 a.m. I would disappear. I'd chase some girl to some place till 5 a.m, and I'd come back, not slept, still on drugs and drunk, and then pretend like I could film a TV show.
Yeah, 3 and 4 are pretty bad, Carl. 3 and 4 are pretty
really bad.
Just having just watched them again, I'm like, oh,
really bad. Yeah.
But kind of for everybody, to be honest, it was like a low spot for the entire group.
But you guys were young. You were kids. You were like everyone has, for the most part, matured, and it's been also fun to watch.
Yes.
Support for Messy comes from Jones Road Beauty. I'm going to tell you something. I'm older, and I've got crevasses in my face. And when you find a makeup that doesn't stick in those crevices, crevices. You put this stuff on your face, and you just, what do they say now? Glow up. You glow up. But makeup shouldn't erase your face. It should bring out what you already love. You're not trying to look flawless, guys. You're trying to feel good in your own skin. I wanted my actual face, just healthier and more radiant. It is such a beautiful makeup. It feels so good. If you sweat, it doesn't sweat with you. It really is incredible. So I highly recommend Jones Road Beauty. Jones Road doesn't just have their famous Miracle Balm. They've built a full lineup of effortless skin-first staples like their Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer, a lightweight, non-comedogenic formula that smooths and evens skin tone with a soft touch of coverage. It hides redness, looks natural, and feels like nothing on your skin. It's packed with skin-friendly ingredients to keep skin moisturized without clogging your pores. Oh, and eyeshadow. We'll talk about that next time. Real good eyeshadow, guys. If you want makeup that brings out your natural glow instead of hiding it, Jones Road is the way to go. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a free shimmer face oil on their first purchase when they use the code MESSY at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code MESSY at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent ya. Support for Messy comes from Lola Blankets. I know. I can't stop talking about them, guys. They are so incredible. The moment that I realized Lola wasn't just your favorite blanket, it was when it touched my flesh. I love it so much. It's the best blanket. It's why it's called the #1 blanket, I think, in the world. Yes, in the world. It's crafted with ultra-soft luxury faux fur and a signature 4-way stretch, the kind of quality that instantly feels gift-worthy. Oh yeah, gifts. That's the thing. We'll talk about that at another date. It's machine washable, double-hemmed, and built to last for years, making it a truly meaningful long-term gift. It stays flawless, no shedding, no pilling, no delicate care worries, which makes it a gift people can actually enjoy every day. I feel like when you give this gift, you're actually giving love. So for a limited time, our listeners can get 40% off select Lola Blankets products with code MESSY at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com and use code MESSY after you purchase. They'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola Blankets.
One thing I will say about the Summer House cast, your cast, I feel more than any, it's like very hard for newbies to like really, like Jesse and Wes were like the first new ones I really feel like that were like, oh, they're going to be here for a while. They're going to fit in. Is it because there's so much history amongst you all? Like, what is it about Summer House in particular you feel like that, like, you really need some kind of like special sauce to be able to make it? Like these two sweet girls this new season, I love them, but like, I mean, it's just not working for me as a viewer. No offense.
The poor girls who like float in, I'm like, get out while you can.
You're getting eaten alive.
I always have had a soft spot for our new cast members because season 1, I was friends with Kyle and Lindsay and them, but not like as close as I was. I was kind of a little bit of the outside. And at times, the first season, I just wasn't as close. And the inside jokes, like the history, sometimes is hard to break in. So I've seen it firsthand the last few years. What I want to say is this. It's hard to find people that are not only a good fit, but are there for the right reasons.
Sure.
You know, and I think.
And what are the right reasons?
And we can see it, Carl. I can see it when they're not there for the right reasons, man. I'm like, performative.
Yeah. Well, I think the right reasons is you're there to have you're having fun. You're there to meet new friends. You're there to build relationships and get to know more about yourself. You want to open up, your life and what you're going through. It could be personal, family, professional. Some people come in wanting, I want to be like famous, or I want to be an influencer now. And that's not what the show's about. Sure, those things could happen as a result of being on the show. So but I've always joked, I've joked around with friends who are like, so what's it like? And I'm like, everything that you want to talk about on the season is the exact thing they don't want you to talk about. Everything you don't want to talk about is exactly what they want you to talk about on this season. It's the stuff that you're uncomfortable with. It's the stuff that you are being shady about or hiding down. It's the things that have been maybe right in front of your face that you are not willing to take a look at. And that's the stuff that tends, I think, to be just better. But what I'll say why Jesse and West have worked so well is because they've been going to the Hamptons. And some of the new people over the last 5 seasons, at times, the first time they've ever been to the Hamptons was the first day of filming. And I'm not saying that like you need to like know things about the Hamptons. There's just an element of comfort and confidence that comes with already being out there in the past and kind of knowing.
Yeah.
You get into an Uber for 20 minutes because that's how long it takes you, and certain places that we hang out and how the nuance of the summer can work. So I know they've tried to find people that are seasoned out there, but also finding people that are there for the right reasons. So I think the combination of the two has presented some challenges, but it is a long season. I think Bailey and Levi are a lot of fun. I think hopefully we'll see more of them, but we're only, I think 5 or 6 episodes in. There's still a bunch left. So
I'm so glad. Good. Thank God.
Oh, I know.
I think there'll be more.
But that's why I love. Sorry. We're getting excited. No, sorry. I get excited.
No, we love it.
That's why I love the show, because as opposed to like the other shows we watch, because Jamie and I watch all of them, it really is like a production. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's glam and I hate that word glam. Please, everyone stop saying it. Also stop doing this. But like when you guys, I can't do it.
I'm now that Christina says no more hand hearts, I'm done.
Thank you, please. But when it's you guys, because I think we've talked about, you've talked about it, that surveillance cameras, right? That there is an intimacy and there is like this like thing that happens, this honesty that is different than the other shows. And that's what I love. I love when you guys, like the core group, are together, because it's enjoyable to watch, not because I'm like watching a train wreck. It's because I'm watching friends like go through something. And I never got to do that, man. I never got to go to the Hamptons when I was younger. I never got to do fun stuff like that. And I don't know. Well, I live vicariously through you.
You both are invited to...
Well, I'm from Long Island. I've done some Hamptons weekends. Well,
I was going to say, Jamie, by the way, for I think your birthday a couple of years ago, we sent Becca Tobin.
Yes, you did. My bestie.
We sent Becca Loverboy for your birthday.
She still talks about it. Yes, thank you. And a bunch of videos. Which
but now we got to get you to come to the Hamptons, and we could show you our thing. But
I'd love nothing. Oh my God, I'd love nothing more. But what I was also going to say is about reality television, and I know, and you're such a guide and a leader for this, and what I hope more people can do is like reality television can also be an opportunity, right? To like grow and really see yourself and understand yourself. And as a viewer, like watching people just own their shit and just be, it's so difficult, but so beautiful. And you know what the other side, like how much the work is worth it on the other side. Because whether you're on a reality TV or not, like you're gonna have moments. You're gonna have to have reckonings in your life with who you are and how you are. And I think that that's where reality TV can be such a beautiful teacher and example, where you can see yourselves in these other people that are on these shows in these different types of moments. So again, just you should be so proud of yourself. And I'm sure so many of your housemates look to you as for guidance on that, because I know, I mean, I'm 44 years old, almost 45. And just like owning who I am and owning my quirks, my flaws, my this, it's so empowering to me now.
Yes.
Like I'm almost like too much of a truth bomb. I'm like TMI all the way, but it's just, I don't want to hide any parts of myself anymore.
I love that.
And Christina has been somebody that's really held my hand through that, particularly when it came to MS for us, because even when I was out in public about it, there were still parts of it I didn't want to share because I was like, I don't want them to know that I struggle with this. But she was like, fuck it, Jamie. This is what we live with. This is who we are. And it's literally changed my life and changed my energy. And I can see that in you. And it's really wonderful to see.
No, I relate to that so much. I don't know who came up with this, but I kind of borrowed it this past fall. People were asking me why I wrote the book I wrote and just kind of doing a memoir. And I felt like for a good period of time with Bravo, like, yeah, you know me, you've watched me, you get to understand me. But there's so much more about me that I felt like you guys didn't fully understand that has been a big part of what shaped who you were watching on season 1 and et cetera. So I just felt like it was important for me to put it all out there. Because to Christina's point, I'd rather you hate me for exactly who I am than like me for who I'm not. And that's what I borrowed from someone. I don't know who said it, but it's brilliant.
I like it.
And it took me a while to get to that point of like, no, like this is okay. Like be you, own it, be your weird, goofy, whatever self. And that will attract the right ones. It's not going to bring you the bad ones. And it's been a really big blessing to kind of own that and feel that, because I'm with you, Jamie. I'm kind of in that TMI. Like I did a book club last week in front of all women, and I'm telling these insane stories. And at the end, I'm like, I mean, no one would ever really do that. Like you don't sit, but I'm very comfortable and I've gotten a lot of practice. And a lot of the women that were there thanked me profusely for the authenticity and the vulnerability, which for a lot of men, as we know, is very difficult. So,
well, I'm going to say this because I wrote a book. I feel very uncomfortable talking about that, but I go real deep.
Christina, same. I feel the same way sometimes. I'm like, I'm an author.
Yes.
I go real deep, and all I'm getting right now is people going, thank you, because I was afraid to talk about that thing that happened to me or this thing that happened to me. And I hope you understand that Cake Eater is going to be something that people will really, really, kind of go to, and that you're going to make someone feel less alone. And that is the invaluable part of doing what you're doing and being honest, honestly.
I appreciate you saying that.
And what's beautiful about books too, is I feel like books is such a word of mouth thing, right? Where like somebody could be talking to somebody about something like, oh my God, there's this book that you should read. I think more than anything, like it's something that can just continue to live on, and you don't know how many generations of people it will reach. And so while it did so much for you, I know in the process, like the work is still going to continue to be done.
Well, I think you nailed it, because that's what I wanted to kind of be. I felt an obligation to help other people. And, I'm sure you both have gotten tons of direct messages on social media that you don't have it's impossible to respond to all of them.
Sure.
But this was also kind of a way to communicate with people who followed me along and wanted to learn and understand more. Because I really want to help, because I feel like I'm in a unique position of influence that I didn't at first clock this, but like for me, it's athletes. Like Kevin Love, the basketball player, wrote an article about his depression and anxiety back in 2019. and it blew me away. I'm like, he's an all-star, 6'11", but I related to that. But I realized someone watches Bravo or reality TV that they might view me in a similar way. And if I could help one person feel less alone, then that my job is done. And I feel like that's what we've accomplished.
But you don't have to be a spokesperson. You don't have to be that. You can be a messy warrior. And that is what, Jamie and I kind of stand on that platform of, you can totally be a messy warrior, and that's okay.
There's no pressure in that.
You need to get on your pod next is the Grammy Award-winning artist Lola Young, who's hit Grammy song Messy.
Messy, yeah, such a good song.
She's great. Love her music.
Wait, I want to ask a fun Summer House question. So I saw something because my Instagram just knows that I love it so much. It showed me that because you guys are famous for your theme parties, which I love, which honestly, if I'm going to come out at all to the Hamptons, I need one to be at a theme party.
Yes.
Does your crew dress up in the theme costumes too? That's so fun.
I mean, I'll see if I can find a quick photo. I have one from it was season 9. I'm doing a quick search while we're just talking.
How tight are you with the crew, by the way? Are they,
very tight. You become best friends with them. It's not unlike a family. The sound, the camera, the producers, they give up their weekends. And shout out to our crew on Summer House. We have the best crew in reality
they're staying up late with you guys too.
I actually found it. So this is the crew we had a Day of the Dead party. And basically the whole, this is actually crew. I don't know if you can kind of see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So, when you're at a party, there's me with the axe on my head.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had a Halloween party, but the whole cast is dressed, obviously, but the crew, because when they're filming it, if you see, everybody all in costume, it just looks, but a lot of the cameramen and producers are also incognito in costume.
Cool.
That's so awesome.
And that's actually what makes it so fun because they lean in. Our executive, our showrunner, literally will have the best costume out of everybody there, and they're the one behind the scenes.
Well, that also, I'm sure, just feeds you guys, right? And just we're all in this, we're creating something, this is entertainment.
And I wanted to add one thing is this is a moment that I don't think for my sober people out there, just because I don't drink or do drugs anymore, doesn't mean I don't like to get dressed up and still have a good time. So theme parties for sober people are the best because I can play a character. I'm getting into it. You can throw on that costume and kind of teleport into a different personality. Which has been a lot of fun. So I love themes because it gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to kind of, brings an energy to the party that is not, typical for a non-theme.
Well, if I came there, I'd have to have a wheelchair theme. Just kidding.
We got you, Christina. I will push your wheelchair.
Just push me around, please.
I'll push you around.
No, we could do a Rocky Horror Picture Show theme, and I could play Dr. Scott, and then I'll fit in.
I would love to do a Rocky Horror Picture. It's actually a great idea.
There, I just gave you a good idea.
That is a good idea.
You're welcome, world.
So, Carl, but we're not going to take up too much more of your time, but something that we do with all of our guests at the end of each episode is we ask for your 5 favorite movies. You don't have to think too hard about them, and Christina's going to just kind of do something fun with them. Is that a better way to say it, Christina? Now I'm not making it like a whole thing.
Can I reference?
You're welcome.
And I'm not just doing this to do it, but one of my brother and I's favorite movies, and this is a nod to you, Christina, is "Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead."
Fuck yeah!
And the quote, "The dishes are done, man," was a quote that my brother would use all the time in the house. So I got
right on top of that, Rose.
Curtis,
I'm going to shout out my brother for that film. So that was definitely.
Was that on your list?
It's on my list.
Okay. Right, so there's one.
So it's basically 5. Don't think about it. It's movies that you would watch over and over and over again. Don't think about it. Don't be like, oh, I love cinema. Just give me 5. Okay.
Number 1, Don't Tell Mom. Number 2, Caddyshack. Number 3, Coming to America. Number 4, Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Trading Places.
Love it.
Boy, that's a deep one there, buddy.
Deep one. That's the first time I fell in love with a robot.
I think we all did.
We all did. Just gorgeous.
Trading places. So you guys have to talk while I ruminate.
Okay, we're going to talk. Okay, so we have many more episodes of Summer House left, but then are you guys already gearing up to start filming the next? Well, I mean, no, it's only March, but like,
yeah, we still have some time.
It's coming.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd love to do it again. We still have a fair amount of the season to go, and the reunion is going to be coming up also. And
I haven't shot that yet.
Oh, wait! I'm so sorry. I have a question. What's this thing that I saw? Did I dream this? But did Kyle say that you guys have been filming something about being in New York City?
So after Summer House has a spinoff, I'm not a big part of it. I'm in it a tiny bit, but there's a spinoff of just following some of the couples and married people in New York City in their kind of day-to-day lives. It's called In the City.
You know, my heart's broken right now. My heart's broken.
Who knows? I mean,
they're not going to get rid of Carl. We'll have plenty of Carl.
I would love to keep being a part of it.
We'll see. I'm sad about Kyle and Amanda. Come on, too, as well. I can't.
Yes, I am too.
And he just got her the watch. Well, we have more season to go.
Lot to go.
Do you feel comfortable going into the reunion this year? I know there's like more episodes, but like compared to some other ones, you're like, this is going to be. I can't wait. Okay, good. I'm so happy for you.
All I know is I'm not going to be sitting in the first chair. I know, like in the reunion world,
the most drama is when you're right next to Andy.
Yes, if you're first chair, you usually are the one, kind of in the middle of a lot. Last year I think it was Paige was first chair, and maybe Lindsay, and then the year before it was Lindsay and me. Right. And then the year before it was like Paige and Kyle. It's always been kind of the bigger things happening. So yeah, I'm not going to be in the middle of everything. Hopefully not. But I always think reunions are super important for shows because really, really good casts put it all out there. They fight, they bitch, they yell, they scream, they cry, but then they're like, we're good.
My friends and I talk all the time. We're like, how crazy would it be if like in just like your everyday life, like someone came and like held like a Bravo reunion for like whatever group, whether it's a family or friends, to like hash shit out like just once a year, like just to check in, make everybody just fucking face it.
I think that's actually like $1 billion concept right there.
Isn't it? Wouldn't you think? Maybe that's maybe that should be our next thing, Carl. Should we go into business together?
Yes, like an event, like a reunions for families and group of friends.
That's right. We'll just hold the space. We'll try to teach people how to just have some self-awareness.
Yes.
I will also want to say, I feel like, and I know that we don't see everything, but the way you've handled everything with you and Lindsay, I think you've handled really like a gentleman.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
That's a lot to handle.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's been really cool to see her thrive and just.
Yes, she seems so happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier to see her thriving and happy. She's an amazing mom. Her daughter's gorgeous. Mm. And I think you'll see a little bit on the season that's airing. I definitely was faced with the feeling of like, I miss the friendship a little bit, and
sure,
I know that's maybe a crazy thing to say after everything that unfolded, but I'm going to remind everybody, we were friends for 4 or 5 years and then dated and were in a relationship for less than 2 years total. So It's definitely been an adjustment to navigate not having that friendship, but I will say getting some more closure and just kind of moving on, you'll see a little bit more of a friendliness and a conversation we do have, which is really important. And I'm glad we did have it.
I look forward to that.
So I think the audience will hopefully appreciate us kind of talking at the end of the summer and kind of moving through some of the old wounds, let's say.
Great. Oh, she's got it. She's got it.
This is a hard one, man, because it's a hard one. But what I'm getting from it is that I don't know if you ever felt like a hero. Like I feel like
never. I don't think I've ever felt like a hero. I've always felt like I love being a part of a team. When I get too much recognition or kind of praise, it makes me uncomfortable.
But every single one of these, there's a person in the front that everyone's looking to, and they're not looking back at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with these ones.
Yeah, I kind of like. I kind of relate to some of the characters in some different ways. Maybe that's also why I like some of those films.
Well, yeah, that's
well, maybe you need to start looking at yourself more as a hero.
Maybe.
You know?
Well, the term hero just has like an uncomfortable like association with like you're perfect or you've got it all figured out. And I know that's not necessarily.
That's not it. Your own hero. You're your own hero.
Well, I view my brother was my hero, truthfully. And I kind of still use him. I mean, he's my higher power, which I consider as kind of my hero too, you know? So he's my guiding light for a lot of how I'm trying to kind of go about living and being a better person. And I try to embody his best qualities, get rid of the ones that weren't so great, and try to think about the good stuff and remember the good times. I mean, it's not always easy, but you know, so I feel very lucky because my brother also has helped a lot of people through his passing. And I think,
well, you will too. And I see you standing on a mountain with your hands akimbo, you know, and people looking to you. And I think that that's what you've always wanted, and you're having it now, I believe.
I appreciate being in a position where people can look to me, but I didn't get here alone. You know, I've been very lucky with a lot of support and a lot of people that believed in me, but also gave me second chances. And I feel very lucky to even be alive, which is why I take, you know, the sobriety and that lifestyle so serious, because I've lost friends. I've lost people I love to addiction and mental health challenges. So to be able to be in a position to help others by talking out loud about how you've helped yourself, it's kind of a beautiful thing. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost people too, and I want you to stick with what you're doing, because what you're doing is really remarkable. Don't forget
Thank you, Christina.
It's not just getting sober, it's remarkable.
Well, that's the other piece, is like that other layer of like, people say, you know, they ask me for help. And what I try to tell them is, listen, I hope you get to a point where, because of the help or whatever I've inspired you to do, that people in your circle, could be a coworker or neighbor or friend, they're going to notice you moving, sounding, acting different. And you're going to impact someone in just the same way that I did by just taking better care of me and sharing that story loud. And I try to remind everybody, like, I'm not doing, I am, but you also now have the power, and you're going to influence and impact people in your circle. And that's the beauty. And that's what's going to give you the confidence like I have. And I try to remind people of that.
Put your fist on those waists on the top of that mountain, buddy.
Preach, Carl. Preach.
Do it.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay, before we let you go, tell us about Soft Bar. It's open. Is it open? What's happening?
Yeah, Soft Bar.
Yes. So I opened Soft Bar at the end of the summer. You'll see
Congratulations.
it on the new season of Summer House. It's been 6 months now. Things are going great. I was actually there this morning. We have a moms group that comes in every Friday with 20 strollers and young babies. But it's a third space. It's a place for people to come together. We have tons of events, run clubs.
You should do mahjong events.
We had mahjong last.
Us old ladies love it.
We've had mahjong. But what's exciting is I built my podcast studio upstairs at Soft Bar.
Cool.
So my podcast, More Life, has also been going on upstairs, which has been really very fulfilling. Basically, I invite guests to, they come into Soft Bar, they have non-alcoholic drinks, and then we go upstairs and we have more of a meaningful kind of a conversation like we're having right now, a little bit more vulnerable. So I'm really proud of the space. It looks really good. People are really pleased. I'm still working through just behind the scenes operational stuff. We've had to deal with some, there's always challenges and things, but we've done a lot of revenue. People are buying drinks. People come. Have we had some slow days? Yes. Have we had bad weather? Absolutely. But I'm really proud of what we built. It looks really good. And I'd love for you guys to come check it out sometime.
I want something with lavender in it, please.
We've got you. Got you covered.
I don't know why I always want something with lavender.
I love that.
Lavender's great. It's a great botanical.
I love that. Well, Carl, this has been such a joy to talk to you. I'm like such a bigger fan of you than I already was. Again, I think you should be so proud of yourself. You're such an example, especially to be on a show like Summer House and leading life the way you are is such an example. We love you.
No, I love you guys too. This is truly an honor to be here. congratulations to both of you on all your success and everything you're doing. And Christina, you with your book and just everything you've been sharing. Super powerful. I know you are helping and inspiring.
Taking my hands over
there you go.
Tons of people.
That's right.
So it's honestly, it's a dream to be here. I've been big fans of you both for many years, and it's just awesome. So thank you for having me.
I pull a little inspirational card, a random card from a deck at the end of each episode. So before we let you go, I'm just going to read it, and then we'll close it out with our.
It's like a Jamie-Lynn fortune cookie or something.
This is it. This is my little fortune cookie for you today, Carl. You ready?
I love it.
And I didn't know. I just pulled it. Ready?
Okay.
To be nobody but yourself in a world that's doing its best to make you somebody else is to fight the hardest battle you are ever going to fight. Never stop fighting.
I like it.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
That's awesome.
You do understand that we don't see these cards before she pulls them, so we don't know. So this is like the universe just... That's
your message for you.
Talking to you and all of us and Allie.
I needed that, and that's really powerful. And, honestly, I like that stuff a lot. So that is something I'm going to take home with me. I'm actually home right now, but I'm gonna write that down.
All right, Carl. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you both.
This show is executive produced by Christina Applegate, Jamie-Lynn Sigler, and Allison Bresnick. Our audio engineer is Josh Windisch.
If you want to show us some love, don't forget to leave the show a rating or review. Hi, it's Jamie. Thanks for listening. I just want to let you know I am a paid spokesperson for Novartis, but this podcast is independent from my collaboration with Novartis.